Thank you everybody for joining our Together Tuesdays. We really appreciate those attending, and we also Melissa's going to record this because we have a lot of others who can't make this but always come to view our sessions. And so thank you again for joining, and thank you very much for being a customer of MessageOps and Sirius. So we do appreciate it very much. Really excited, Melissa, because we just passed 1.3 million mailboxes now on the Inscape platform recently. So really excited about that, and we appreciate all of everybody here who's on the call and all your peers for some great feedback. Melissa, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good. Just wanted to make sure. So, today you have, yours truly, Chris Pyle, joining Kevin Vogel. For those who usually attendees, he's on a vacation, much needed. We have Krista Anderson, who's our Microsoft Alliance Manager. She's going to come on today and talk about the available funding buckets that are available to Microsoft clients to help you with your change management, your adoption, and some of those features. And I think it's exciting. We do as much as we can here at MessageOps to make sure that we have you're leveraging as much free money as is being given out. Of course, we have Melissa and Alex. You're a success manager, so thank you to you. So real quick, what we're going to do is I'm going to review the Inscape Financial Snapshot review, as well as some new AWS features. And yes, for those of you who don't know, we have been in beta now for quite a while, leveraging Inscape not only to provide cost management around your Microsoft cloud environment, but it's now over to AWS for those who are leveraging AWS as part of your cloud strategy. I think you'll be excited for what we're going to briefly show you today. And then, as we mentioned earlier, Krista is going to jump on and review some of the available funding programs that are new to Microsoft this year. So with that being said, I am going to jump over to Inscape real quick. And I got a screenshot that I'd like to share with everybody. Melissa, just give me a thumbs up or a yes so you can see this as I went through my screens.
Yep, I can see it.
Okay, great. Thank you. So you're going to see just a little bit of change, nothing crazy in your dashboard coming up. You'll see the Microsoft licenses you're assigning, your account information, where you can go in and review a financial snapshot of your recent invoice history, as well as a deep dive into your billing information. And we've also put in Azure Cost Management, where we have combined Azure recommendations and cost into one. And then you'll also see over here AWS Cost Management. So you'll see those two updated tiles very soon from there. So let me, if you don't mind, let me just jump in here to the screens, and let me go here. So when you go in and the first thing I'm in right now is I clicked on the AWS cost review. So just briefly, because I know a lot of you might not be utilizing AWS, but I think you'll see where we're going, not just for AWS, but remember our vision is to handle all of the hyperscalers such as AWS, Azure, Google, and we're going to be quickly moving to a lot of the SaaS platforms where, whether it's Dropbox, or the hundreds of other or thousands of other SaaS apps that we're going to be giving you the opportunity to review all of your costs within Inscape for all of your SaaS as well as other cloud. But real quick here, just to show you, again, you can quickly come over here and customize the month that you want to look at your cost reviews. You can do that anytime you want. Quickly hit apply. You can get those. And then, so in this instance, this is our tenant here, our AWS tenant. And we're looking at the August 1st to the 31st. And, real quickly, you can see here, we're giving you a snapshot of, the daily spend of what you're spending, what's going on, the month-to-date costs, your average daily costs. We give you a quick statistic of what your highest compute is within AWS. In this case, it's the Amazon Elastic Cloud, where we're spending $6,200 just on that. We tell you what your lowest day was in your AWS billing, your highest day. We can also look at last week's cost difference versus this week. We can see we're down 15%. And then we can also look at your last daily cost difference. So, some great stuff here. We've made it really easy that, let's say that you have an AWS account owner and they're responsible just for a certain account IDs within AWS. You can set those up to say, maybe I'm responsible for Austin and Blake's sandboxes within there, and the CT network as an example. And it will pick up just those that are associated to whatever you might want. So you can just track whatever it is that you would like to track in regards to that spend, whether it's by business line or however you have your AWS accounts set up here in this example here. You can also then drill in deeper if you'd like to and say, I'm only interested in setting up, I just want to understand what my simple storage costs are, and I'm just picking things here, ladies and gentlemen, or my Elastic Cloud compute within these accounts that I picked. So you can really, get drilled in here into the, to where you're spending your money. You can then quickly come down here, look at it, and by service account or whatever you might want from that perspective. So very easy to look at your AWS cost review to be able to slice and dice and give you some granular visibility into really what's happening in your cloud environment, a real comprehensive cost visibility and transparency there. The other thing that we did is we allowed in here for our customers to create budgets within Inscape that you can quickly come in, pick which accounts you want to create your budgets for, whether it's Austin, Sandbox, Blake's, whatever the account is that you might have, and be able to then, or by service or by resource, you can really set budgets up really deep here. You can just name the budget, whatever you would like, and then, give the budget, whatever it is you want. I'm going to just put $5,000. You'll quickly see here a line that comes up, and you can hit next. And then you can say, hey, look, notify me when I'm at 25% of my budget, at 50% of my budget, or at 75%. As you can see, you'll see the different lines come up across the chart here. And then we'll also have the ability to email an alert, a budgetary alert, when you are coming up against your budgets, and you can pick up to 5 people that would get that alert. So that's real quick, just the beginnings of what we're going to be doing with AWS. We have a lot of great things coming down the pipe here. So from that perspective, any other questions from there, or do you have any comments, Melissa, or anything like that?
I don't see any comments in there, but I was wondering, this budget tool that you have in place there is really cool. Is that something that you're going to also bring over to the Azure side of the house too, so people could build out Azure budgets as well?
Yes, it's a great question. And just to let everybody know on the phone, we plan on creating this one budget tool for everything that you have in Inscape. So in other words, if you have your AWS, you'll be able to apply your budgets to that. If you have your Office 365, you'll be able to use this tool to create budgets in Office 365. The same thing with Azure. And as we bring on different software as a service applications such as Box, Dropbox, the thousands of other SaaS apps, Inscape will be able to provide a budgeting, one budget tool for all of your cloud spend. So in here, just to let you know also, this is a lot that came from you and your peers, you'll now be able to go into your financial snapshot, whether it's you, your accounting teams, your financial teams, and be able to get a comprehensive view of your cloud spend. As you can see here, we're spending $29,000. We have a trended, You can see how much you're spending in AWS, how much you're spending in Azure, Office 365 training, et cetera, et cetera. You can dive in and look at how much am I spending in Office 365, how much am I spending in Azure, Azure reservations, software marketplace. And then, as we just showed you, you'll also be able to get this view of your invoicing from AWS for the date as well. And if you can imagine, next we'll be doing, like I said, more and more software as a service applications where you can get all your financial snapshots, be able to go ahead and export any of this information to a CSV file to be able to go ahead and manipulate that. And then, of course, what we're really shooting for is to have the ability, to prevent, and not to prevent, but to provide a really comprehensive Office 365 Azure training, as well as your AWS all-in-one invoice. So we're excited about that a lot, really, really are. I would like to ask the members, the MessageOps members, on one thing that I would really like is if you could let us know which software applications that your company uses, because we want to make sure that we are leveraging and making available the ones that you guys really want. I'd hate to go out and bring on a software as a service application that nobody in the world uses. So if you have some ideas, you say, hey man, it would be great if I could get this, that would be, let us know. So that would be really important. If you're like, oh God, if I could manage my 10 software applications in Inscape, that would be fantastic. Just send us over to those, and just send us those, and we'd love to look at those. And Melissa, before I get off of this, I want to show one thing that a lot of people on the phone and the others that might be watching this online. There's a tool, and one of the features is bulk operations that we have. So you would go into Office 365, into the management, and on the left-hand side, you have the bulk operations. And I just wanted to share this with you because we see this, some customers don't see this immediately and they ask us for it, and we have it out there. So it's a pretty slick little feature to help you in your admin. New bulk operation. Let's say you wanted to put, mailbox auditing as a bulk operation. You would simply click mailbox auditing. You could hit next. You can choose all of your users in your domain. You can choose a certain user, or you can do an attribute, such as I'm looking for a department, and that's equal to, and I'll just put sales here. And now all of a sudden you'll see here's all of the people in sales that you want to apply that mailbox auditing to. And it's as simple as that. You would come up and, you would perform this and confirm that. You would acknowledge to be applied, and you would simply go ahead and hit submit, and the bulk operation would take place as required. So I just wanted to bring that up, Melissa, because as you know, we've had some customers ask us, and we're like, yes, it's built, it's there, it's over there, you might want to take a look. So I just wanted to share that with the group. And if you, again, if you go through the bulk operations, and if there's a bulk operation, if there's a bulk operation here that's not here, okay, if there's a bulk operation that when you're looking at this, and you're saying, hey, you know what, disable accounts, got set retention policies, disable OA. Hey, it would be great, Chris, if you could do a bulk operation for this or this or this. Please work with Alex, work with Melissa. We are our development is based upon your suggestions. I will tell you right now, we are working on the big one, which I know a lot of people are asking for, is bulk onboarding. Onboarding, right?
That's a big one.
That's a big one. Hey, I want to bring 15 people on at a time, 1,500 people at a time. So we're working on that bulk operation where you'll be able to upload a CSV, and we'll apply the whole thing across for a lot. So that was a recommendation from several of your MessageOps members, and we are executing on that. It's just not complete yet. But please, if there's anything there. And the one other thing too, Melissa, before I hand it over to Krista, is the reports. Ladies and gentlemen, if there is a report that you want, just tell us. We are creating reports, all the time. But if there's a report that you're like, God darn it, I just wish, instead of me running these PowerShells, I wish Inscape would have it. Just tell us, please. And we will go ahead and put that on our sprints. And the final thing is PowerShell commands. If you all have a bunch of PowerShell commands that you want to put a GUI on, send them to us. We will incorporate those into Inscape, where you can then address those in a GUI fashion rather than running the PowerShell scripts themselves. Okay, so thank you for that. Is there any questions? Okay, if there's none, that's great. So I want to introduce you. Do we have a question, Melissa?
No, I don't see anything in the chat window, but folks, don't be shy. If you have a question, please type it in the chat window and we will address it on the call or circle back after the call.
Great. Okay, so we're going to hand it over to Krista Anderson. Krista has been in the Microsoft business for what, Krista? 15 years plus, I think it is. And Krista, I know that Microsoft just came. When did Microsoft's new year start? In September or July? When did it start?
It actually started on July 1st. So.
July 1st. And I know they come out with a bunch of new funding buckets, and we want to make sure that our MessageOps members and community are aware of those. So what do you got for us?
Thanks, Chris. So it's nice to meet everybody. Yes, once we start the new year with Microsoft, which did happen on July 1st, Microsoft kind of resets all of their funding buckets. So if you know that you have a Microsoft account team that you have ever spoken with or dealt with at any point in time, then that lets us know that you are a managed account with Microsoft. That's kind of one of the first steps to qualification, is making sure that you're a managed account with Microsoft. And then the common buckets where funding is, programs will vary depending on industry, depending on availability. Obviously, it's funding, so it's first come, first serve. But key areas where Microsoft has put some additional money are anything that's around security and compliance. So whether that's in the Microsoft 365 space or in the Azure space. Anything that's around migrating to Azure, especially if you still have a lot of things that are on-prem, not really, haven't really done a lot with Azure yet. And then the advanced workloads with Teams, so meetings, voice, Teams platform, which is any kind of apps using the Power Platform from within Teams. Those are kind of all the key areas. The funding can be across assessments to proof of concepts to actual migrations and implementations, just kind of depending on where you're at with your current licensing, where you're at with current usage. And then, as always, the fine print, Microsoft does reserve the right to approve everybody for funding. So it unfortunately is not in our hands, or we would share the funding with everybody if we could.
Mm-hmm. So Krista, so let's talk about it. We have seen, you talked about running out of money, because Microsoft does put X amount of millions of dollars into these different buckets for funding, but they usually run out towards the end of the Microsoft year, correct? I mean, they usually try, unless there's some huge rush. But can you maybe tell the audience a little bit about, are they going to run out tomorrow, or how does it usually work?
No, usually what they'll do is they'll look at the years in halves. So all of the funding that they set up now on paper will show that it's good until the end of December, so which is the first half of Microsoft. Most of those programs will then reset for the second half, and they'll still be existent in the second half. But on paper now, what we see for most of them is that they'll go for the next few months till the end of the year. So good chance they'll all reset. It's just not anything that's 100% guaranteed.
Got you. So basically, if there's anybody who's listening to this meeting and you're considering deploying more security, securing your environment, please reach out to Melissa or Alex and let us work on your behalf to see if we can get you some funding to help you along with this. And anything that you see here, if you're looking at Teams voice, Once again, let us do the work for you. We're not expecting you to go out and look for the different buckets. We have 2 people that are almost full-time dedicated to, looking at this on your behalf to figure out how to leverage these fundings, whether it's for education or professional services that, of course, we can perform for you. So please take advantage of this service that we have out there for you. Let us work for you and try to find you as much money as we can. From that perspective. So, So again, any of this that you're you're considering, let us go out and find you some money. That's a good thing. Thank you so much. All right. What else we got, Krista?
It looks like we've got some upcoming Together Tuesdays. September 21st is going to be about Microsoft 365 and ransomware and what you can do to be prepared. I'm sure we all know ransomware is a huge, scary topic right now that is happening to a lot of businesses. And then some additional Inscape training on how you can leverage your free training credits. And then Tuesday, the 28th, will be the new Productivity Insights premium demo.
Oh, that's a big one. I'm waiting for that one.
And then our top support ticketing topics from our help desk.
Yeah, right now we are close to about 400 customers that, we support. And so we asked Rob Vogel, who heads up our support team, to review the most popular help desk tickets that are, constantly coming in over and over again, and review them with you to see if we could do a little education on what's happening out there. So we hope you join us for that. So that's really all we had today. We want to keep them short. We want to keep it sweet. From there, I'm going to open it up and see if anybody has any questions.
Not seeing any questions yet, Chris, but we also love their feedback as far as agenda is concerned. So if there's a topic that somebody would like to see in our next series, please don't be shy. Let myself and Alex know, and we'd be happy to orchestrate that, getting that worked into Together Tuesdays.
Yeah, absolutely. And just once again, with this funding, if you're not taking advantage of it, I would just say, look, it's out there. Microsoft has the money. They don't make it easy to find, but we have the experts to go find it on your behalf. So once again, even if you don't have the budget for something, even though you don't have the budget, but you would like to implement some part of Microsoft security, whether that's Endpoint Manager, DLP, but you just don't have the budget, or Microsoft Teams Voice, or whatever it might be, and you're looking, maybe you don't have a huge budget, just let us know, please. You'll be surprised. I can't promise you, like Krista said, that we can do it every time, but you'd be surprised on how many times we have found good money for your peers. So please, don't be shy. Reach out to us. That's what we're here for as your partner. So if there's no questions or other conversation, let's go ahead and give everybody back a few more minutes in their days. And once again, thank you so much for your business.